That was really weird just now. I was about to hurl the controller against the wall, but then I suddenly watched myself getting angry, and then it somehow wasn't that bad anymore. Have I completely lost it?
Quite the opposite, Hootie. You just activated the rarest form of intelligence. You didn't just think, you thought about your thinking. That's called metacognition.
Sounds like a final boss in a sci-fi shooter.
It's the ability to be your own pilot, while almost everyone else is just a passenger in their own head. I'll show you the strange habits that prove your brain is operating on a level others don't even know exists. Imagine your head is like a gripping video game. Most people are so stuck in this game that they believe they are the character. If the character runs into a wall, they get angry. If it loses an item, they panic. They don't even realize they're just staring at a screen. But there are a few people who take a step back. They suddenly realize, wait a minute, I'm not the character on the TV. I'm the person holding the controller. That is metacognitive IQ. Your normal IQ is just the hardware, like how fast your PC calculates or how much horsepower your engine has. But metacognitive IQ? That's the pro gamer pressing the buttons. You can have the sickest supercomputer in the world, but if the player in front of it has no clue what they're doing, they'll lose every match. I'll show you the secret signs to tell if you've activated this inner gamer mode. Real-time monitoring. Meta-awareness. The first sign is almost eerie. You notice your thoughts at the moment they emerge. Most people become their anger or their opinion. You, on the other hand, observe the reaction while it unfolds. Psychologists call this meta-awareness. It's a monitoring system in the prefrontal cortex that constantly asks, why am I thinking this right now? It creates a tiny, almost invisible pause between an impulse and your reaction. In this pause, you have a choice, while others only react. But this constant monitoring has a price. You often feel like you can never fully switch your head off. But what happens when this inner observer starts dismantling your strongest beliefs? Epistemic humility. The power of I don't know. A clear trait of a high metacognitive IQ is a strange form of honesty. You have no problem saying, I don't know. While others fill knowledge gaps with guesses or sell opinions as facts, you know the limits of your knowledge exactly. This is called epistemic humility. It sounds complicated, but it's actually a total pro move. Your opinion isn't a part of your character to you. It's just a tool, like an app on your phone or an item in a game. If the app is outdated or the item no longer helps against the new boss, you just delete it and take a better one. You don't care about being right. You just want the result to be correct. While people who actually have no clue often act like they've swallowed a book of wisdom, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, you sometimes feel even more uncertain. But not because you're stupid, but because your radar is much better. You are the only one who realizes how huge the map actually is, and how many dark corners you haven't explored yet. The simulation engine, predictive processing. Have you ever caught yourself playing out entire conversations or scenarios in your head before they even happen? That's not just brooding. Your brain is using predictive processing. You simulate multiple possibilities, reactions, and endings, almost like a dress rehearsal in the background. This makes you better prepared in the moment of the real event. But beware, too many simulations lead to overcalculation and mental exhaustion. You often experience reality in advance, and that costs cognitive computing power. However, there is an even rarer ability: fact-checking your own biases in real time. The ego audit, debiasing in live operation. Our brain loves shortcuts. It's like autocorrect on your phone. Sometimes it writes complete garbage just because it thinks it knows what you want to say. For most people, this program just runs all day without them noticing. But if you have this special IQ, you're like a bug hunter. For example, when you see a video that says exactly what you already think, you get that little dopamine hit in your head. Your brain fires off confetti and screams, "Yes, exactly!" But that's exactly when you pause for a second and ask yourself, do I only believe this because it feels good to be right? Or is this actually true? This is called debiasing. It's as if you were simultaneously the detective and the prime suspect in a crime thriller. You put your own thoughts under the microscope and check if they are lying to you. For most people, it's totally uncomfortable to question their own ideas like that. But for you, it's the only way to avoid falling for the fake news mode of your own brain. Dashboard awareness. Cognitive load. Do you operate your mind like a laptop with a broken battery indicator? Most people do exactly that. They only realize they're at the end when the thing just shuts down and the screen goes black. But as a metacognitive genius, you have built-in cognitive load awareness. This is like a live display of your CPU usage in the corner of your field of vision. You notice immediately when your system starts to lag because you're too tired or currently in full rage mode. Instead of making a drastic decision that could ruin your whole save game, you simply press pause. You know your operating system so well that you know, hey, my computing power isn't even enough for Tetris right now. I'm not making any more important decisions today. This self-assessment saves you from the really embarrassing fails that only happen when you're totally overtired or mega angry.
The map of learning, meta-memory. Did you know that you have a kind of instruction manual for your memory? Metacognitively gifted people study how they learn. They know exactly which conditions make information stick and when they are just lying to themselves. This is called meta-memory. While others just invest time and hope that something sticks, you have created a mental map of your learning processes. You can predict what you will forget and where you need to rework. This form of self-steering is the reason why some people achieve dramatically more than the rest with the same intelligence. But I'll tell you the ultimate and rarest sign of a metacognitive IQ right now.
Bayesian updating, the radical revision. People with metacognitive IQ possess the ability to completely update their own self. You correct your opinion immediately when new, better facts appear. No long clinging to the old position, no ego trip. Psychologists call this Bayesian updating. For you, every correction is not a failure, but a valuable data update. You hold your positions loosely enough to let better information through. This makes your thinking sharper and more flexible over time than anything else. Conclusion: the burden of clarity. In summary, a high metacognitive IQ means that you don't just think, you understand the system behind your thinking. You possess meta-awareness, real-time observation, epistemic humility, knowing what you don't know, cognitive flexibility, fast updates, emotional monitoring, taming impulses. But it has a price: mental exhaustion and the inability to ever completely turn your head off. While others drift blindly through life, you are aware of every corner of your mind. But this clarity is your greatest power. It allows you to see the world from multiple angles at once.
Wait a minute. I'm just thinking about why I'm thinking about the fact that I'm smarter than I thought. Is this level 2 already?
You learn fast, Hoodie. Welcome to the cockpit of your own mind.
And how about you? Do you also catch yourself observing your own thoughts sometimes? Let me know in the comments. I want to know how many observers we have here.
See you on the next deep dive.